Welcome to Made to Make. Here we talk about creativity, the challenges that come with it, and why we keep showing up anyway. Because hey, we are all made to make. Welcome to the Made to Make podcast. I'm your host, Shannon Grissom. Today we are joined by artist Heidi Hooper. Heidi is known worldwide for transforming something most of us throw away, dryer lint, into intricate, whimsical works of art. Her story is one of creativity, resilience, and seeing possibilities where others don't. Heidi, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Nice to see everybody. Well, I'm not really seeing everybody, but whatever.
Yeah.
However that works.
I can see you. So I want to start at the beginning. Were you always creative as a kid? How did your childhood look?
Oh boy. As far as a childhood, my parents were, if you've ever seen the movie You Can't Take It With You, my family was like the banker family. They were very anti anything creative.
Oh no.
I literally had to hide artwork drawings in between the mattresses.
Wow.
So
Wow.
Yeah, I only ever had one art class in high school, and that's the only art I ever had being exposed to taught. The rest was just basically on my own, going to the library and looking stuff up.
Wow. Well, you've done lots of different mediums. How did you land on the dryer lint art?
For lack of a better way to say it, cancer. I'm patient zero for a new cancer that's all microscopic. Great. Like I said, Murphy's Law is my middle name. Anything it goes screwy, it goes screwy with me. And while I had it for like 20 years. So I spent, once I was able to get up and start doing stuff, basically I just every day trying to find something else I could do. And the dryer lint came about because my mother-in-law was looking after me, and she did laundry, and she had lupus and didn't know she had lupus, which means you can't feel heat. And so all my chenille throws became burlap. So I spent like 4 years trying to figure out what the hell to do with this stuff, because I literally had a collie size pile in front of the dryer and another one on top of the dryer from her.
Wow.
So it was like, this is fate telling me I got to figure something out with this. So I spent 4 years doing test drives. Oh, well, let's try this. Oh, let's try that. Let's try this. Doing it on cardboard and a moldy basement. I mean, I was trying everything to see if it was a viable something to work with. And then it finally clicked. I mean, the first work for the first couple of years was god awful. Oh my God, it was so awful. It's like I ended up taking them apart or else throwing them in the garbage because it was so bad. And then the first piece I ever did, stupid sometimes, I went outside because I went, oh, there's no wind blowing. It's a beautiful day. I'm going to go work outside. Yeah, it goes flying across the lawn. And I went, well, I knew better than that. What was I thinking? So,
well, so you talk about cancer and that you've had challenges with other mediums. Can you speak to that and how that got you going on the dryer lint?
Oh my gosh. I've always been, I guess because I had to teach myself, I've always been, anytime I see something that like, oh, I don't know how to do that, I'm going to go and try it at least once. Until I physical pain, I'm going to try it. And so I'm constantly trying different things. And a lot of it comes also from, when I went to college, I studied sculpture, and in sculpture, you have to learn every medium instead of like specifying on just one, like being just painter or just ceramicist or whatever. They make you learn a semester in every field, or at least VCU did when I was there. And so when I was sick with a cancer, I had all this wonderful memory to pull upon. So all these different techniques that I tried, and I could try again and see if maybe I could make them work this time around.
Well, I know that you've, because of the cancer, you've had physical challenges in creating your work. So how do you get around that?
Well, the smithing I had to stop. I used to be a armor smith. I made armor for the New York Renaissance Fair.
Wow.
That was the first thing that had to stop because I couldn't hold a hammer or a file anymore. And so then I tried sculpting dolls. I did portrait dolls. And then eventually my hands got to where I couldn't hold the tools to do that even. And then I ended up with the dryer lint. So it's like, bing, 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 bing. Just one thing after the other. I'm not a person to sit down and mope. It's like, oh, it's not working. Well, I'll find another way around it. If I can't find another way around it, well, then I'll ditch it, come back to it another day and try something else.
So I've seen from your website that people from all over the place are sending you dryer lint. So tell me about that.
Oh my God, it is so wild. I've gotten dryer lint from London and Australia and Germany. I'm like, what the heck? But yeah, it's awesome. It's totally awesome. Most of my lint, I will confess, most of my lint is ugly gray or black. As you can see, I wear dark colors because I spill a lot. So that way you don't see spills when you're wearing dark colors.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's wild. It's like I send everybody postcards as a thank you, and I send them a postcard, but it's like, oh my God. Yeah, it's I do like a little Snoopy. Yes, Annie, everybody knows you're here.
Well, hello, Annie.
I do like a little Snoopy. Honest to God, I do like a little Snoopy dance every time I get dryer lint in the mail because it's like, oh my God, when I get this.
Well, I am going to start. I'm good. I know that you have all the gray that you can use, but if I get something with some wild, bright color, I'll send it your way.
Sure. As you can probably see, I should turn this so that you can see. Can you see the boxes?
Oh, wow. That's all lint.
That's all lint. I have 12-foot ceilings, and this is the kind of box they're stored in. Little old cheap grocery store salads. Yes, I eat lots of salad. Not as much as you would think, but I do. I save all the boxes. So I have about 1,000 of those, honest to God.
Wow.
Every wall in this room is pretty much filled with boxes just like that, going straight up 12 feet. So yeah, I have a ladder I keep outside the door for when I have to get the high spots.
Oh, that's great. Well, you do incredible portraits and also animals, and they're very whimsical, and it seems like everything has a story. So tell me the story about everything has a story.
I think shrimp, because it's an actual hits home. I have that one particular cat, Primus, who recently passed away. Anytime I fix myself and it's a commission, it's a big piece, or I'm having a big piece and I'm having a really great time and everything's rolling, then I'll treat myself to like shrimp lunch one day. Just for to get the juices going again up higher. And that cat, I swear to God, she had radar for knowing when you were going to turn and when you weren't going to turn, and she would steal the shrimp and sit on it. So you look over, you go, I thought I saw her. Nope. Okay. And then she'd go steal another one. So next thing you know, she's got like 4 shrimps underneath her and then takes them behind you and eats them. By the time I'm finally stuck and going to get a shrimp, there's no shrimp. I get tails or something. That's it. So yes, that piece is actually taken from things that have happened to me. So a lot of my stories are stories that I have seen or happen. Like I have one that's a chipmunk eating pears, and that's because I had some pear slices that I had tossed outside because they had little brown spots on them. I didn't want to deal with it. And Chipmunk was trying to get the whole slice in his mouth, and I went, "Oh my God, I've got to do that as a piece."
I love that piece.
So
it's all cheeks.
Yeah, it's all cheeks. It's like you hardly tell it's a chipmunk. It's all cheeks. So yeah, I my final thing on art pieces is that, and my own art, if it doesn't make my husband smile or go, that looks seriously accurate, then it goes in a pile to be either tossed or drawn over. Because if it doesn't make him laugh, then I miss the point. Is how I look at it. It's like, okay, I got to fix the laugh before I can even start this piece. And then on my pieces, I have my Patreons, they vote each month on what piece I'm going to work on. So I have pieces that it's like, I'm dying to do, and they never vote on it. And it's like, oh.
So that's great that you get engagement with your people. That's really cool.
I try to. I mean, the best thing about my art is that if you have completely crappy hands due to whatever, like I struggle to hold a glass of water, and I can do this work because it doesn't cause as much, strain on my hands. So there's that little tidbit for people.
Yay. So can you give us a rundown of how you create this work? How does that work?
My brain doesn't think normally. My best example I give is I was in a carload of people once. My husband was driving. We're on an old country road, and some turkeys start cross on the road. So he stops the car, and I start cracking up laughing so hard I can hardly breathe. And he's like, and everybody in the back seat's like, what the hell is going on? What's wrong with her? And my husband goes, just give her a minute. She's coming up with another piece of art. And he waited till I finally got a breath, and he goes, okay, what did you see? Because we obviously didn't see what you saw. And I said, she's in red high heels, she's clenching her pearls, and the other turkeys want her pearls. And he's like, and at that point, the whole car cracked up. And they were like, your wife is weird. But I did the piece, and yep, it sold. So yes, I had a turkey with high heels and clutching her pearls, like, oh my God.
I love that you feel the joy, you put it in your work, and you're sharing it with other people. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah, after the cancer, I was like, if I don't make people smile with my art, I don't want to do it. Bottom line. I had enough bad. I don't want to deal with bad anymore. And I don't want to pass it on to anybody else either. So I don't do terribly serious most of the time, except for, commissions.
So as far as the physical process of making these pieces, can you give me a little rundown of how that works?
Okay. That's my tool.
Yeah.
That's what I use is curved tweezers.
Some serious tweezers.
Serious tweezers. Basically, I actually have a step-by-step on my webpage if people wanted to download
Awesome.
it.
Okay.
I draw on watercolor paper because it's firmer, and I just like the texture, the way it reacts with pencils better than pencil paper. I don't know how to explain it better than that. It's also that watercolor paper, if you sand it down, it sticks to the lint a little better than regular paper. But I take and draw on that, and then I take and put archival tacky on it, and then I take and go to the cat's blankets and do it all over it. So it's only an essence of sticky on there, because all glues eat fiber over time.
Okay.
So that way I know I'm safe and the piece isn't gonna, degrade. And then I do a clear overlay, which I pulled one out to show that I could show you. I do an overlay, And that's how I stay in line, because as I'm doing the dryer lint, you can't tell what the hell is going on. It really just looks like mush. So I take and like some of this is faded away because that's a piece that's done. I don't know if you can see that. See, I do like an overlay.
Oh yeah, I can. Yeah.
Okay. And then the overlay, like here's the piece. There's a piece.
Ooh.
There's the overlay. I don't know if you can tell too well.
Yeah, I can tell.
The lines are there. And that's what I do in order to finish the piece. So, yeah, I do overlay, and then I constantly, as I'm not working, I keep it with a firm piece of cardboard on top and in a plastic bag. So that way it's bug proof, any on a catastrophe proof,
cat proof,
everything. Yeah, exactly. And it keeps it compressed. So they're actually about an inch thick when I'm done. But you don't.
And are they framed under glass or?
Yeah, they're behind museum glass. Otherwise, they literally blow away. As I have learned.
Well, you know, you've received tremendous recognition for your work, galleries, awards, international recognition. But I know early on there were challenges of people not recognizing your new medium as a type of art. Can you speak to that?
I still get it sometimes, but for the most part, it was awful. I went hoofing all over the place trying to get people to take it, and it was constantly things like, that's not an art medium, or, oh, that's disgusting, or which you have to go, well, how clean are your clothes then? But that's what always went through my mind when they said that. I was like, oh my, this person doesn't clean their clothes very well. And they would be like, oh, that's just too weird, I can't do that. I mean, it was constant people turning me down. And so I basically, science fiction fantasy conventions were the only places I could show my work when I was starting out. And then Ripley's, which I thought it was a crank or a con, contacted me by email saying they wanted to buy work. And I'm like, this has got to be a con, because nobody wants my work. You know, I mean, nobody wants it. And they bought stuff, and then it started, suddenly people started taking interest. So I went, okay, I'm officially a freak, you know. But then it just slowly, you know, real, like microscopically slow moving. And then after about 5 years of doing it, actually doing the art, I finally got in a craft gallery. And then once I got her name on that gallery under my belt, then other places started taking an interest. But it was basically word of mouth, I guess, is about the only way it really took. And I make fancy brochures that I send out in the mail to all the galleries saying, if you're interested, you know, contact me, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, it was years of nothing. I just kept doing
But you kept going.
I've never.
You are so inspiring. You kept going.
I was a metalsmith because I had a professor tell me, I don't teach smithing to the girls because they can't wield a hammer right. So I pulled a book out of the library and gave him a bowl mid-semester. And he taught the women the next year, the smithing. So yeah, you don't tell me I can't do something because I'm a woman. Oh my God, that is like a challenge. I will physically hurt myself before I will agree I can't do it.
What does it mean to you when people are personally connected to your work? I mean, for me, your work makes me smile. It just, you know, no matter what's going on, you turn to your website and start looking at the images. You can't help but feel good.
I feel like I'm sufficiently giving back, you know, paying it forward. I feel like I'm sufficiently paying it forward. And that makes me happy. I mean, I can't, it's like your cloud nine when that person smiles, seeing your artwork, you're like, ah, you know?
Yes.
It's just,
Yes.
I'm not good with words. I'm more of a actions person, but yeah, it just, oh my God, it makes my day. Totally makes my day. It's kind of like finding a stray kitten and the kitten starts purring the second you pick it up. It's like, it's that feel, you know?
That's a great way to describe it. Hey, I saw a picture of Mel Brooks on your website.
Oh, Mel Brooks. Yes. Yes. That was from To Tell the Truth when I was on To Tell the Truth.
Oh, wow.
That was another one
How
of those
fun.
con artists, right? I was on To Tell the Truth and with Mel Brooks, and I was so nervous. He's like, "Oh my God, I love Mel Brooks." And
Me
like,
too.
and I'm like, "Oh, what a perfect person to see my art." I'm like, "Oh."
Yes. Yes.
And yeah, it was wild. It was, I kind of didn't like the way they did it because they went, "No, we want you basically stiff and not whatever, not moving." And I'm like, "Oh, that is so not me."
How can you do that?
Hard to just sit there and be stiff. But yeah, it was awesome. And I don't wear lipstick except for like things like this and things like that because I'm allergic to makeup. So I'm allergic to a lot of stuff. And so I was like, "Oh my God, can I kiss you on the cheek? I've always wanted to like kiss you on the cheek because you made my childhood so happy." And he goes,
yes.
"Sure, honey, I'd love to have a kiss from you." Totally forgetting I had lipstick on. He's got this big walker lipstick on the side of his face. "Oh my God, I'm sorry. And I started to wipe it off. And he goes, "No. I will cherish it for the end of my life." And I'm like, "Oh my God."
I can just hear him saying that.
And I was like, "Oh my God." So, oh my God. It was like my husband was so jealous. He's like, "I had to sit in the audience. I didn't get to even touch him or see him or say hi or anything." Sorry.
Wow, that's great.
But it was a blast. It was fun.
Now, with all of this, do you ever get stuck? Do you ever have times where it's really hard to create?
Yes and no. I do, but those days I sort dryer lint and file it into boxes, and somehow or another within a day or two of doing that, something pops in my head. I can't explain it beyond that. It's just, I had a therapist once go, "So what do you do in your spare time?" I sort lint. She goes, "I'm sorry I asked."
But that makes sense. It's like that old proverb, when fishermen can't go to sea, they mend their nets.
Yeah,
it's that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like I just do it, and I just sort the lint until something pops in my head. But I also I don't allow myself to start a new piece unless I have at least 5 pieces, not counting the piece I'm getting ready to start, online waiting to be done.
Ah.
I learned that at VCU, and that has saved me more times than I can count. Times when I desperately needed something, I was like, "Oh God, I don't know what to do. Because some galleries, they want all new. We don't want anybody to have ever seen it before." And those are the ones that you're like, "Oh God." And I can just pull the sketches and say which one you want and do it that way, which has saved my butt a few times. Why am I doing this?
Yeah, people pick up on that. So what advice would you give somebody just starting out on a creative path? What do you wish you knew when you were younger?
Oh gosh. Patience. A lot of patience. And these days it's a lot harder on people, I think, than it was when I was younger, because you would hoof it. Everything had to be hoofed it, but nowadays with everything on computer, it makes it a whole lot harder because you've got to have a website, you've got to have stuff on Instagram, you've got to have a stockpile of at least 20 pieces on your website, or the galleries won't even give you the time of day. So I feel sorry for everybody, younger kids getting started. But my advice is just stick with it. If you're not enjoying it, put it aside. What I do is I write notes on it saying what I'm feeling at the time and why I feel like it's not working. I set it aside and I start something else. And then when the day comes that you go, oh, let's see if any of those other things are worth reworking, then you have your comments of what you were experiencing. And I'm constantly trying to teach and learn myself, learn my work better from myself. And don't let criticism is somebody's opinion at the moment. Just let it go. Treat it as I can't talk. Constructive criticism, and never let it get to you. I mean, some of it does get to you, but you just go, I'm not going to let it bring me down. The minute you feel yourself, I call it the spiral. The minute you start on that spiral, just kick it aside and say, I'm doing something else. It means baking cookies. You bake cookies to get it out of your mind.
Do whatever it takes.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you don't have to do art. You just do something that occupies your mind so you get over that hump.
Yeah, I know that things roll off of me better than they did when I was younger. And the things that don't roll off of me, I'm able to transition faster. So I feel like that's progress. So I'm not stuck in the ow mode. So I'm like, okay, same thing. And physical action for me is a good way to get through that. Go for a walk.
If I
do
try
something,
doing writing or reading or something, that doesn't do it for me. I have to physically do something physical.
Yeah, me too. And cooking is a great thing too. Kneading that bread.
Exactly. And the cookies taste good afterwards,
Yes. Oops. Just lost my thing here.
I'm sorry.
Alrighty. I was just so excited. I'm not even going to edit that out. That was real. Wow. Okay, so how about, do you have any advice for people who think they're not creative or want to be creative, feel like they're blocked? Do you have any advice for them to just go for it?
Everybody has an artistic good talent somewhere.
Yes.
There are 100,000 or maybe millions of different art techniques you can do across the world. This is what I did when I was sick with a cancer and I went, oh God, what am I going to do? Go on YouTube and just watch all the different types of art that there are out there and try stuff. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Try something else. And if that's it, and sometimes that will inspire you to try something that may be really weird, but if it works, it works. But yeah, YouTube is like a godsend for like teaching people art and teaching people the options out there. Most people are like, they figure I can't draw, so what's the point? And there's so many other things you could do without drawing. And things like yours, like your podcast. You learn a lot from watching podcasts.
I do. I get inspired. Fires me up.
God, don't you? I mean, oh my God. Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you for being here, Heidi. You've just been incredibly inspiring. So for people who want to get in touch with you, what's the best place to find you online?
I'm Heidi Hooper at gmail.com and HeidiHooper.com. Or just technically, if you type in dryer lint art, I will pop up. I'm the only person in the world crazy enough to keep doing this. There are people that come up now and then, and they'll try it. And then 2 years later, you never hear from them again. So I've never come across anybody sticking with it other than me. So it's like, okay. So I'm still alone.
Well, I will put all of those links in the show notes so that people can find you. Thank you, everybody, for being with us on this Made to Make podcast because we are all made to make. I can't wait to see what you create. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.